I sat with him, never knowing it would be the last time.
I guess you could say I wasn't the most well-liked man in Capernaum. Tax collectors never are. Despised is more like it. But at the time, nothing meant more to me than money. And Rome made it very easy for tax collectors to fill our purses. Take a little more here, charge some extra there. Anything above and beyond taxes due to Rome went straight in my pocket. Did that all change the day Jesus walked up to my booth and said, "Follow me"? It was as if something came over me. A light, perhaps, a truth, the knowledge that gold and riches were nothing compared to the riches of heaven. So I left it all behind, right there and then, and began my new life.
Family can be tough. Don't get me wrong, I love my brother and sister very much. My brother Lazarus is kind and steady, and my sister Martha is capable and secure. But like most siblings, we have moments where we don't quite get along. The day Jesus came for supper was like that. My sister spent the day in the kitchen, cooking and cleaning and preparing a special meal for Jesus and his men. I was aware that she wanted my help. She made sure that I knew my place was in the kitchen, that my job was to serve. But when Jesus began to speak, I just had to listen. In that moment, my place was not in the kitchen, it was at Jesus' feet. And when she became very angry with me, Jesus was the one who reminded her that there was more than one way to serve.
My brother Andrew was the one who introduced me to him. I was out doing what I did best, my calling. I guess you could say, casting my net and bringing in the day's catch. I was securing my boat at the end of an unproductive day of fishing when Andrew came running up, excited that Jesus was here. I wanted nothing more than to head home to my wife and the hot meal she had ready for me. But Andrew was insistent. And sure, when I heard Jesus speak, I was intrigued. But the next day, in a boat with my brother on the Sea of Galilee, Jesus came and asked us to follow him. And I knew then and there what my true calling was.
I am made of more than money.
I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I am a fisher of men.
I am a disciple of Jesus. He got so mad at me, Judas, not Jesus. Jesus was visiting our home along with his disciples. As usual, Martha was tending to the meal, serving Jesus in the best way she could. And while Lazarus was talking to some of the disciples, I crept back to my room and retrieved the aromatic oil I had bought in the market a few days before. True, it had cost me everything I had saved, but it was worth it if I could use it to glorify my Lord. So, just as I had before, I knelt beside Jesus and used the oil to anoint his feet, then dried them with my hair. But Judas thought it was a waste of money, that the oil should have been sold and the money given to the poor. Once more, Jesus defended me, telling Judas that we would always have the poor, but wouldn't always have him. If only I had known how soon that would be.
Put yourself in my shoes. There I was in the upper room, getting ready to celebrate Passover, and Jesus was kneeling at my feet. Feet that had been walking all day in hot sandals. Feet covered in dirt and mud and who knows what. That was not the place for my Lord. I should have been the one to wash his feet, not the other way around. But he insisted. He knelt in front of me, his outer clothes off, a towel tied around his waist. He took my foot in his hand, poured the water over it, and washed the dirt away. He said if he didn't wash me, then I would have no share with him. I see now he wasn't talking about my feet.
It wasn't your typical Passover. I guess some of it was we ate, we drank, we talked and teased. There was something else, something hanging over everyone, something foreboding, always there, unsure, unsettled. And then Jesus picked up the bread. He called it his body. Body? How could an ordinary piece of bread be the body of our Lord? And the cup? His blood of the covenant, poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. In that moment, I didn't understand.
What did he want from me?
He talked so much during the Passover week about what was to come.
Betrayal.
Denial.
Death.
But it was all there, wasn't it? He was doing everything he could to let us know.
It was time.
He'd be gone in a few days, and he knew it.
All that week during the celebrations.
And in the quiet moments,
He instructed us on what must be done,
He taught us how to spread his word.
he guided us on how to live.
so that when he was no longer with us,
We would never forget.
To cherish the ones we hold dear,
to humble ourselves in service to others,
To remember him when we eat and drink.
the body and the blood.
Because to care for one another is to glorify God.
I see it now,
I'm listening.
I finally understand.
So now in all that I do,
and all that I say,
He will forevermore be
honored.
honored.